This thing called planning has been at the center of discussion for a long time already. People are always talking about creating a step-by-step plan to achieve something really difficult. The only problem is, in reality, the more you plan things out, the less you achieve. In this video, you will learn why you should switch your focus from planning to strategy, why the latter is much better, and how you can actually start working on your goals without procrastination and overthinking kicking in. All men can see these tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. Sun Tzu. Now, this has nothing to do with planning. This is strategy, what we actually aim for, which we will discuss later. We all make plans. It's the end of the year, you make your plan for the next year. I want to start that side hustle. I want to make more money, get in better shape, eat healthier, and so on. And now you feel good, you put your goals down, you feel accomplished. You did the first step, which in reality is not even close to a first step. All of these YouTube gurus and productivity experts tell you to write everything down and look at those goals every day. But in reality, the only thing that comes out of that is analysis paralysis. Sometimes we plan so in depth without having a clear structure and idea of what a plan is, that we end up with something so complex that whenever we look at it and actually want to get started, we freeze. We never see the first actual step of our plan in action. How can I get this to work? What can I do, you might wonder? I want to do so many things, but I don't know where to start or how to actually do it. Well, that's where you need to understand what a plan actually is. Think of a plan as a list of tasks you intend to complete. That's all. This is the definition, and most likely, you already know what the problem with this is. If you put yourself in someone else's shoes for a bit and see this plan, you might think, well, all of these sound great, but how are you going to put them into action? Well, I will do the usual stuff, what everybody does. Go to the gym more, eat clean, etc. Sure, but do you 100% know that these things will move you closer to your goal? Well, no, but I hope they'll work. This is where a simple plan comes up short. It's just a list of what you want to achieve with no depth or contrast in it. If you want to get rid of this analysis paralysis, you have to think of creating a strategy. A lot of companies are now doing a thing called strategic planning, which is a total waste of time and makes no sense because the two are totally different parts of the spectrum. Planning, definition, a detailed list of specific actions or activities that an organization intends to perform. Characteristics, focuses on resources and tasks within the organization's control, often centered around cost and execution. Strategy, definition, an integrative set of choices that positions you to win in a chosen field. Characteristics, involves a coherent theory on how to achieve a competitive advantage, guiding actions that lead to a desired outcome. If you want to beat the fear of failure, procrastination, anxiety, and analysis paralysis, you need a strategy. You need to understand where you sit, what competitive advantage you possess, what quality, what edge you have to achieve your goal. This is where you switch your mindset from wishing to doing, and you're not just sitting there looking at a large to-do list with no depth to it, wondering, well, I want to do all of these, but I don't know how. Later on, because you simply didn't know the difference between a plan and a strategy, you start feeling bad because you brush things off, fear failure, and feel like a failure for not even trying. That's all because you didn't have a strategy in place. Let's say you want to lose weight. How would a strategist approach this goal? It would be in the following method. Let's see, I work a 9-to-5 job, I have a family, so I also need to spend time with my family. Which one of these things do you care more about? I hope you choose the latter one. Do I have the time to spend 2 hours in and out of the gym, get home tired at around 8 p.m., and spend time with my family for 2 hours, then go to sleep? Well, most likely, that's not really the ideal outcome. Even if you tried doing this, after a while, you just give up because you see that this doesn't fit your lifestyle and your actual situation. So instead of going to a gym, get some home equipment. Now again, based on your own characteristics, you choose. Do you have the space for a lot of equipment or not? If you don't, again, you focus on the most important things that would get you in shape in the comfort of your home. Some dumbbells, elastic bands, a bench, and maybe a pull-up bar. This is what you can do based on your characteristics. Now, if you didn't go through all of these aspects and understand where you sit, you would just look at this to-do list wondering, how the hell am I supposed to do that? A plan has no room for flexibility. It's just a plan. What you need is a strategy. That's where you understand what's your reality, and also if you have an edge to achieve that goal faster or easier. Another thing that hinders our productivity and slows down our progress is overanalyzing. The greatest enemy of a good plan is the dream of a perfect plan. Carl von Clausewitz. You're a perfectionist. You always search for the best, fastest, most appropriate way to do things. But in reality, all you have to do is ignore what works for 80% of people and understand what works for you. The end goal is to achieve that goal, not for you and thousands of others to achieve it in the same way or manner. For example, if you want to start a business and you already know people working in that business, come from a business-oriented family, or have some experience growing a small business, why would you waste time listening to generic advice on the best way to achieve your goal? Most of these methods and strategies don't take into account your unique edge or personal characteristics. If you simply ignore your own strengths and advantages, it might take you 10 times longer to achieve your goal because you're following a method that doesn't suit your situation. Be smart and ensure your strategy is tailored to your reality. In the end, it's about understanding that while general advice can be helpful, it's not always applicable to your unique circumstances. Strategies must be personal and adaptable to leverage your strengths effectively. Another reason why a plan is simply not enough is that you learn by doing most of the time. A plan gives you no indication of where to go or how to do it, so you never start, you never learn anything, and you never evolve. Now, if you have a goal and it's mapped out in a strategy that benefits your traits and has your own twist to it, every time something doesn't work, you can go back to the strategy board, see what aspect failed, and replace it with something else. For instance, if you got an 80% mark in school, why did you miss the remaining 20%? Let's see, maybe you didn't do enough quizzes, didn't read this material, only focused on that material, etc. Now you have something to improve upon. If you just had a to-do plan, I want to get 100% on this test, okay, cool. But you got 60%, now what? A plan leaves you staring at the ceiling, feeling like a loser when nothing works. A strategy tells you why you failed and how you can improve, even if it's just by 1%. Strategy is adaptation, planning is rigid. Musashi said it best. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. Think about it this way. When you're on a journey, sticking to a rigid plan means you follow a preset route, no matter what obstacles pop up. But what if a tree falls and blocks your path? A rigid plan says, stick to the path no matter what, which could mean spending hours trying to move the tree or find a way around it. A strategy, on the other hand, means you're prepared to find an alternative route. It's flexible, it adapts, and it keeps you moving forward. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. You might plan to study for 2 hours every evening, but then a family emergency comes up. A rigid plan falls apart, and you're left feeling defeated. But with a strategy, you can adapt. Maybe you study in smaller chunks throughout the day or catch up on the weekend. The key is to remain flexible and adjust based on the situation. Another unique aspect of strategy over planning is that it encourages continuous learning and growth. With a strategy, you're always looking for ways to improve and adapt your approach. You're not just checking off boxes. You're actively engaging with your goals and finding the best ways to achieve them. It's about understanding that there are multiple ways to reach your destination and being open to changing your methods when necessary. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that focusing on strategy allows for creativity and innovation. When you're not tied down by a rigid plan, you have the freedom to explore different paths and solutions. This can lead to discovering more efficient or enjoyable ways to achieve your goals. It's about seeing obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to try something new. So instead of just laying out a plan, think about how you can strategize your way to success. Be ready to pivot and adjust your course. Embrace the idea that there's more than one way to the top of the mountain. This mindset will not only help you overcome obstacles, but also make the journey more enriching and fulfilling. So, how to make things work? First, yes, set out your plan, your to-do list, things you want to achieve. Next, under each goal, set up a clear strategy focusing on what you, and only you, can do to make this work. Consider what you have: the time, the money, the knowledge, the expertise. What do you possess that can help you achieve this goal faster and easier? Also, list the things that might hinder your progress, what you're not so good at, what you need to work on. Based on these traits, create your strategy. Understand that to achieve any task, you must be as specific and real with yourself as possible. After all, the goals are between you and you. If you lie to yourself to feel good for a second, you might just delay years of progress. I hope this helped, and if you enjoyed this video, check out the other videos.